and it's going to be the last big tournament from the EU scene. Stuff is getting started now, but yeah, we are in game. I'm not sure we're on screen just yet, but 1-0 up currently. Yeah. Fish123 were defending first.
Yeah, StartedFromCS lobbed a paint shell in towards B window pretty early on into the round and just nabbed the double kill. Pretty simple, pretty easy stuff. So hopefully we'll have the game coming up pretty shortly as we go into round number 2. And we'll have that one underway.
Yeah, now we're in game. We can sort of see how things are going. Regards to comps, things looking fairly straightforward. Both teams really sort of running the silver lineup. Neither team really wanted to use the breach on this map, which is interesting in its own right, but a lot of people going down, but there's still the advantage over on the defenders. Eccles holding in the teleporter room just to catch somebody out.
He managed to teleport whilst the doors were open and actually get a frag on someone who was looking directly at him already. Fantastic stuff coming out on the Bulldog with the Brimstone. They don't have spike control just yet, but they've already done a lot of damage. 4 players left standing on the defense. And the attackers, obviously on this full eco, haven't pushed in to the point where they can get those weapons that they've managed to get on the picks.
And that's... So the recon bolt isn't actually going to get out any information. Akuma's going to have to speed up the process, but Cryptix is going to catch him out. So only a couple left alive now. Nice. Panther's going to murder them pretty much instantly with a Spectre. Set themselves up nicely. Yeah, it's super interesting. Fish123 lost on Split in the map beforehand. It was fairly close, but as somebody that's been watching Fish123 a little bit over the weekend in other tournaments, they have been selecting Split, as in they want to play Split, which might be something that they're practicing, but I would assume that they would be a lot better set on maps like Haven and Bind than Split, because, you know, not all the people want to play it, right? So it's kind of expected that they might be able to take an advantage and take it quickly.
Yes, this should do.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, obviously they did go down that first round in this best of 3, which is obviously this is a best of 3 series to try and stay on the throne, but they'll have a chance to try and keep it here. They need to win the next 2 on the trot, so they do need to win both Bind and Haven. Link not going to get spotted out. Oh, I think the drone actually turned the other way. I think it was checking the cubby instead of checking towards long, so he might have been able to get away with staying there, but they don't even get the camera in B window before the push, and now they're down to a minute.
All this time is going to be easily bought. There's still more utility on this defense towards B, so the rotation is going to come towards A. Bit of utility thrown through the teleporter, but nothing that's actually damaging the race, which is happy. Not much time left. Ice Pip Hands is going to want a recon bolt at some point to scout exactly where people are, but it's going to be explosive pushing onto this site, and they have to because time is very much not on their side now.
There they go. They get revealed. Only one of them gets the boost, and they fail that one as well. Unfortunate there for the wall, and they're going to not have it as well for the late game of the late end of the round, sorry. So they have to push on. The spike not with them, and they only have 30 seconds to try and get these flanks. Ice Paper Hands takes down Akuma that's traded, but they get a shot onto the player, fading away into TP. Maniac able to claim 2, but StartedFromCS finally puts an end to it. They've left their Cypher now to face 1 versus 3. Over on the site, the Rays rotating in. 1 spray down comes through. Only 10 seconds remain. He drops the spike carrier, and that might just be enough. Instead, he's going to peek out, peek wide. Happy is there, but there's no time left. I don't know if he managed to get it down in time.
He might do. Yeah, he
just got it.
It's just going to be StartedFromCS left. This elbow play is a bit dicey. If they want to rotate all the way around, they might not have time if StartedFromCS decides to dedicate to the defuse, but they're checking angles that they're rotating around each other. They might awkwardly come out here. StartedFromCS needs to be careful from behind him, but good way to sort of rat him out a little bit.
There we go. Ratted he will be, and StartedFromCS able to keep the roll going. 3 rounds found for the defense for Fish123 here on Bind. I'll find their success. Picks up a Vandal, claims the spoils of victory, and gets back to spawn.
It would not surprise me to see a very one-sided score out of Fish123. Like I said, I think they've been practicing that site. They had a few qualifiers for another tournament this weekend, and it tended to be really close games on Split, but as soon as we went up to Haven or Bind, the scoreline was like 13-3, 13-5. It really wasn't as close as some of the other maps can get.
This goes here.
It's going to be interesting to see how they play this out, I suppose. Aside from CS are a muddled team, to say the least. Their lineup changing near enough every time that they play. Existence of Maniac are two of the mainstays people may know about in the Counter-Strike scene. But other than that, it's just a couple of people from the French lineups that fill up the slots, I suppose.
They're going to fill up the crosshairs of Ice Paper Hands as well, apparently, already facing into one. Cypher thinks better of facing in again. Soulcast will trade as well over on the other side. Winning that one out as well. The spray through the smoke is unfortunate there. Soulcast again finding yet another kill. Absolute Maniac going forwards, although there is a player called Maniac on the other team. It's not going to be him. They are just going to hold it down. No one really going to be able to open up, especially on an eco, against this defensive squad of Fish123.
Yeah, Baez has to clear quite a few angles now. He's boxed himself in. That recon bolt is going to show him up at a glance, and Ice Paper Hands from distance is going to keep that down. The good news about Happy is being in that smoke provides him a bit of cover, but Ice Paper Hands is well aware they can come from that direction, and that smoke wasn't going to last forever. A flawless round. I don't think there was really any meaningful guns on the attacking side, at least. So now the Phantoms are going to start coming out. Even no real ultimates on this attack either.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tricky for them to find the opening. I mean, they haven't managed to find it on the gun round that they had, on any of the eco pushes they attempted either. And now we're at a stage where the economy for Fish123 is going to be really very strong. So finding those openings is going to be very tricky. The operator for Ice Paper Hands is going to be played in lamps, and they're going to set up for the owl drone as well. Sending it through the teleporter. We'll spot out one. They are going to be able to dart that and actually hit it as well with the Hunter's Fury. Is going to just get one tag on it. No more to be found. Gets out of range. And they aren't going to be unlucky enough to go down to that. But there's the recon bolt getting destroyed will give the info as well that they are playing back in baths.
Barely any damage done with the Hunter's Fury. We could see that from the top with the health. Seemed to connect, but there is going to be one dedicated on this attack too. Maniac just shooting across. Ooh. Actually does get the kill onto Soulcast. Narrowly misses Brimstone. So Eccles is going to be okay on sight, but he's got to be careful with the wraparound. BS is taking all of this space and might catch anybody pushing through metal. Link does manage to get the kill onto the B site though, but it's A that's getting hit.
They are going to pop the shock dart down. They don't want to give over pocket control, but Bayaz pushes through, takes down Cryptix, and Ice Paper Hands misses the shot, gets walled off, so he can't go for a second. And now they're all over like ants on a picnic. A site completely taken.
It's whether they decide to go for the retake. Ice Paper Hands maybe just wanted to save the operator. Couldn't really get as many plays there. He was in the same position as he was last time, so they're able to move around it. We did see him try and play a bit more aggressively from the U-hole, but all that space had to be given up. All started from a really good ultimate. The Hunter's Fury from Maniac able to clear up a couple of people on the site and allowed a bit more space for Krayas to take on the left-hand side, pushing onto A on the U-hole. Gonna see StartedFromCS be able to get a point on the board now, but got more to do.
Certainly do, and they're going to allow the operator to be saved as well, which is going to be pretty crucial for the defense of Fish123. You can see they will have plenty of money to buy up those rifles, but if they had to shell out for another operator, they might have trouble into the next round, but they're going to be absolutely fine for now. And you can see they are fully decked, fully kitted out. They'll go for the hold again. It was unfortunate there that Maniac was able to land the Hunter's Furies onto Soulcast, who's been such an anchor for them on that A site. It's really an opening that they needed to look for and an opening that they found. But will they be able to do it without that Hunter's Fury?
Oh, this is a nice spot.
They have a showstopper coming on the attack, which is a similar ultimate, just confirming a frag, especially in these boxed-in areas where StartedFromCS wanted to take these engagements. Going to use it now. Ice Paper Hands having to just run the hell out of there. All of this space being created by Happy. Showstopper's used on the other side.
Oh, no, hang on a minute. Soulcast doubles up. And instead, he's going for the swift no-you when they take down the Happy Rays. Unfortunately, not so happy with that one. They are going to push it on forwards. They L-drone one, and they will frag out the other. Soulcast gets a triple after a beautiful opener to the round. He closes it down, and they say, hang on a minute, guys. You're not allowed to get rounds on this map. This is ours. This is our A site.
Didn't the showstopper on Started from CS's side like hit the wall they put up themselves too? So a little bit awkward. They did manage to take a lot. Oh no, Happy used it in U-Haul where there wasn't anybody at all, and it just completely missed the mark. Created a lot of space for themselves, but the perfect response at a soul caster let them run into a dangerous position and just hop, skip, and a jump up into the air. Nice, easy double frag. So the momentum taken right back into control of Fish123, who
This is a nice
you'd
spot.
honestly be thinking, how did they lose a map before this?
It is quite interesting to think about. You feel like their fragging potential is just so much stronger. Maybe they were playing with their left hand on the mouse instead.
Monitors off.
Monitors off,
Intuition.
or upside down, or something, or back to the front, something like that. But either way, they are absolutely stomping here so far. But it is early days. It's only 5-1. Certainly plenty of opportunity.
This is a key thing about playing the operator role that Ice Pepper Hands has been doing. More typically on the Jet, but this vying for the silver on this map tends to be map dependent, but cheap, mixing up the positioning, making it awkward for them to try and clear the angle that you're holding on, but he's not going to see anything for quite some time as this B site's looking to be stacked towards the long area. The smokes are going to come in, and the site's no doubt going to be hit very quickly.
A very nice wall to actually boost two of the defenders from Fish123 up onto the wall. They think they cleared the angle, but no, there's one more to come, and it's Cryptics. They try and counter wall, but it's just not going to work out for them. They dismantle that push.
I have retrieved the
And
spot.
Soulcast is there to anchor the site. Bayaz will be last alive for the squad. Has got the spike, but he's got 3 players to deal with. Gonna try and fade away. He gets spotted out, though. Maybe trying to make his way towards the teleporter, but gonna have his work cut out for him, trying to peek on towards. They get the cam up. They are going to spot him out. They're going to hear that. And he's only got 13 seconds. I don't even know if he's going to be able to make it to the site after the teleport here. He might just have a time. He might just have enough time. But no, yeah, you're right. It is a save.
It would have been a good play 10, 20 seconds earlier, but he was really wanting to dedicate to that B site. It was just all of these angles, even Eccles holding from hookah made it awkward to even like peak angles from behind him. 6-1, a pretty stalwart defense on the side of Fish123 as is expected. But Soulcast being 12-2 is a detriment. Well, not a detriment at all. It's a sign of how strong this team is individually. Usually it's Ice Paper Hands that's top fragging, being seen as one of the better players in Europe. But Soulcast is the one taking full control, and a nice vision, I suppose, of seeing why Raze is popular on this site and why she is still a good agent, despite the nerfs that she has had duration of the closed beta.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was saying earlier, Ryan. I think that the players who play Raze, player for the positioning. Oh no, this is unfortunate. Maniac spotted. One pushed out of bathrooms completely unchecked. Nobody was looking at that exit. That is unforgivable, but they will trade it nonetheless. Fish123 caught with their pants down. Get a little bit of a spanking, but they are going to be just fine for now.
Goes to show that you can just hold W onto a site and still get easy frags with people not even looking at you. The audacity to make that play, but still more needs to be done. We go into a minute of time, and Ice Paper Hands is going to be using the Aldrin to clear out U-Haul and get a bit of intel. They're not enough to know that the A site is going to be hit, and a recon bolt might show off a little bit more. He isn't even going to look at it to double check, but they back off, and they're better prepared for this.
Eccles with the crossfire. Able to take one down. Ice Paper Hands, easy for him. They do trade it onto Eccles and try and get that cyber cage out, but they know where he's going to be playing towards lamps. They're just going to run on, get that spike planted, and try and play 3 versus 2 in this post plant. Ice Paper Hands doesn't flick up quick enough, and they will fail the punishment there, unfortunately, and go out wide. And Cryptics goes for the long range duel, not to work out for him though. Link, left last standing now on the retake. The tides turn, and they do in fact just press W onto this A spike site, and it's an easy pickup for the Brimstone.
Straightforward cleanup, as we do see Existence being able to get on the board a little bit more. An important round to win just before this gets a bit too out of hand and a bit too much for StartedFromCS to come back from. But it's still a tall hill to climb. Ultimates, they only have Resurrect available, and very little going to be online for the next round at least. Meanwhile, Fish123 having near enough everything apart from Hunter's Fury.
They have plenty of tools at their disposal. In this round, they have Soulcast again. Obviously, getting the entry onto Soulcast, instrumental at taking that fight, at taking the push on towards A. They changed up the dynamic almost entirely, so they'll be pretty happy with that. I don't think they're going to have a repeat performance there. Someone's going to be watching that Bath run out. Link's going to be watching the long as well. 2 players walk up, 2 players go down again. They just hold it on, and this time they're able to frag out once more. The paint shell's not connecting, but they know that Happy's in the window.
Very aggressive angle being held by Link that is keeping an eye on Tahuka. Happy is backed off into this corner. Needs to be very careful that they don't peek out. Wall is just going to slow down this push on the B side. Nobody else from Fish123 rotating just yet, but that's going to be a very clear hint that this site is going to be dedicated to a bit more with the Resurrect coming out now for Kuma. Link is trying to catch somebody with such an off angle.
They're going to be able to deploy that cyber cage and do a lot of work there. Link reclaims the window. 3 kills now on the round. Plenty more where that came from, though, as they try and peek out. Has to reload, and unfortunately, there's not enough bullets to do the job. Soulcast gets 1, and now it's just Akuma. He's already used that Resurrect, so he can't bring anyone back. 7 bullets in the Vandal. 3 players left standing. Uses 4 of them to get that first headshot, but can't do any more than that. Neckles trades it beautifully. Headshot coming through. Defenders win another round. Fish123 extend their lead.
Perfect double peek that came out towards the end. They know how to sort of take these engagements a little bit, but it's fair to say they haven't really been tested too much on this defense. We've only StartedFromCS been able to plant 3 times maybe, if that, and 2 of those rounds they were able to take. Everything else, though, has been falling apart before they can even get onto a site for the most part. So this mostly French-speaking team, not all French. There's a couple of, well, Existence is Belgian, Maniac is Swiss. I think the rest of the team is going to be French, though. Have a lot more to do than this this British stack. It's nice to see Britain actually doing well in a tactical shooter, to be fair.
Well, I mean, the UK CS scene has been hampered by themselves, really, quite frankly. They are their own worst enemy in a lot of instances, but hopefully they'll be able to put their best foot forward here. They're going to trade the OWL drones, and actually Ice Paper Hands are going to be allowed to push back on. They're going to try and use that orbital strike and displace him once again, so he has to re-push out onto the site. But Cryptix has the cross, and he's going to know that there's no one pushed out just yet. However, in the meantime, A site's been opened up, and they get a push, they spot the spike, and they know that they have to get back to the A site as soon as possible. They'll do just that, and Soulcast now ready to take the face. Goes for the showstopper. 1 is found, and that's the spike going down. A lovely paint shell in as well. Not going to be able to find it, but only 43 seconds left now, Ryan.
It's going to have to be a pretty instant rotation if they're planning on it.
Look at
They're trying to bait it, yeah. Cryptix is well aware that Maniac could be coming behind and gets a nice kill. Happy does open stuff up. Neural Theft on the side. But Cryptix is going to show that this rotation is going to come in. They aren't double baiting. I don't necessarily think that they have time, but they're just making sure that they have 1 each on the sites. Cryptix is going to be 15 health, so needs to be more careful, but as the camera able to get him some info, they're both going to jump down onto the site now.
If he gets the spray down, that's going to prevent the spike from being planted, and only 6 seconds remain. There's no time at all revealed by the recon bolt, and now there's definitely no time. Just need to stay alive, and that's going to be it. Fish123 claim another round. Left unsure of what to do. It seems like Existence not going to be happy with that.
It was really well played from Cryptix. He knew the win condition, right? He was only 15 health. He didn't have to try and kill them both. He just needed to wait till the last second to get a kill on anybody trying to plant. Good that Happy was able to save the operator, but money-wise, it's super awkward for StartedFromCS now that are mostly buying half armor. It's very little for Akuma to even work with. We're still holding on to the classic. But this is the penultimate round. They are kind of forced to force a little bit here. They need to make something happen if they don't want to go out very early on.
A wide peek coming in from Ice Paper Hands. Just dodges the bolt, actually, but so he's going to be able to stay on that peak, but they just wall it off. They'll be able to get themselves that ult orb. So they get the bolt destroyed as well. The Doom bot into the window. Not going to spot out Link. He's playing pretty careful. Using the satchel to try and get rid of the camera presence in towards B window, but I don't think they've used it in just there. Soulcast gets entry'd, but he will get traded by Eccles, who's anchoring towards the U-Haul. The wall across the site is going to allow Sage on, but they've already rotated in, and he's already going to be able to go for the face. In the meantime, though, they're going to claim frags on the sidelines, and Eccles goes down.
Kuma.
Able to refrag. They trade it, but it's traded back in kind, and now one player left standing for Fish on the retake.
It is Link. He has been quite good at these clutch areas, but might not even need to sort of 1 versus 3 it. Does have the Resurrect available, but the route that he's taking doesn't have any down teammates that he could bring back. Has to be careful on this Hogan angle. Happy wasn't necessarily expecting it, but had an inkling. Was able to have the time and took very little damage from Link there, who was surprised that angle had a person there too. We go to the last round of this half. Fish123 being 8-3 up. Going into it 9-3 would be superb, but even 8-4 isn't too bad. Shows that they're very much not down and out just yet, despite losing the first map.
Ready to keep it on going, ready to keep the train rolling. It's a couple of times now that they've lost entry frags to aggressive pushes that they've made out from these bomb sites, and it seems like they're not going to stop now. Ice Paper Hands taking team damage. That's a little bit of miscommunication coming through. Not going to be too happy there. Drops the recon bolt to prevent anyone swinging on him sideways. He's going to know that there's no one peeking out close, but Eccles, he's going to face towards Bath. No one is there. Ice Paper Hands might be in with a trade, and he will be able to get the first frag onto Maniac. They lose that Sova in the last round. They're going to have to pull back just a little bit.
No ultimate either. He has Hunter's Fury, and he's not going to be able to use that. Unless Akuma is going to rotate around to get the Resurrect. Quite easy for them to do that, and it seems to be the direction that they are looking to take. The spike is left between the two sites, so there is a way to sort of bait more stuff happening. This Fish123 are debating on rotating towards the B site, but decide against it. They aren't quite too sure exactly how many people are on either of the sites. 47 seconds left.
They are going to get revealed as well. Ice Paper Hands has to fall back. They give it a little bit of control. They're going to shock dot it out, but they have left that location already. Happy watching for those rotates again, but I don't think they're going to be so bold as to leave them out this time. With the wall there, it just blocks the paint shell. That is beautifully done. They still have the showstopper, though, at their back, as well as the Hunter's Fury. The push comes through. There's the showstopper coming out from the window. Doesn't manage to find its mark. The slow to try and stop them pushing on. But Soulcast pushes straight through the Molotov and into harm's way. 12 seconds remaining, as they are going to be able to get that spike down, Ryan. And now the retake needs to come through, but they've still got a Cypher on site.
Yeah, Cryptix has managed to skulk around. Link is killed towards the back of the site. The Neural Theft is going to be used on the attack, I think, that's going to give up where the defenders are. And there's a nice little flank onto Happy, getting a pixel-perfect angle onto Ice Paper Hands. Now it's just a Brimstone. Eccles is off-site, doesn't have his ultimate. Is going to get picked off by Maniac. It's just Cryptix, who's been there the whole time, still managing to survive.
Doesn't have a lot of time left to play with. He knows where they both are now, so he can start to rotate around. Looking to try and play it. Tries to bait it out. Baits the Hunter's Fury instead. Goes to the trade. Now he can push him down. Oh, that's a huge misstep from everybody done on the back foot. Oh, dear. They are just going to leave it, but I don't think he has time. That was so unfortunate, but the Hunter's Fury, a big misplay coming out from the attackers there.
But I mean, it was the reason why they delayed the spike for so long. It didn't necessarily matter that Maniac was going to die. I think he was quite happy to do that, but just made it near enough impossible that he had to dedicate to get the kill onto Maniac there, as opposed to defuse the spike. So might not have necessarily got the kills, but just delayed enough that got them the round. And safe to use it, safe to waste it in any case, because we do go into halftime. The scores are going to be the wrong way around at the top. The attacking team are 8-4 up. Fish123 need to show us exactly what their aggressive playstyle is like on the attack. Should work out quite nicely. StartedFromCS, a bit scared on this B site. We've got 4 people lined up.
Looks like they do want to go aggressive on the defense as well, out in towards B mid. Cryptix looking to cam up outside Baths, and will peek it early. It's going to give them the intel that no one's crossing in. But in comes the Owl drone. Look how far forward they're going from that B site. They've left one player on A, and they need to come in with the fast rotates, or they need to try and get up quickly as well. There's the recon bolt. They're going to spot it out. This is going to allow the defenders to get the full wrap, but they've already left that Sova behind. He is going to play up close and in Cubby. He's going to dart it out, and that's going to give them the info that there's a flank incoming. He swings out. He's not going to get it, and there's the paint shell to slow them down even further. The spike has been planted in the meantime, and they're being walled off almost entirely. This is a really good start, but Fish123 need to hold it down. Bayaz going to start it out, getting the frag onto Ice Paper Hands, but it's traded. Maniac spins around for another 2-1 so far on the retake trades, and they go out wide. Go for the frags. Soulcast finds one, finds two, but the defuse has been going on this whole time. They trade it, and Eccles rushes straight on back. A beautiful round and an overzealous push out of B side.
I think they were well aware that the defense was going to come very aggressively with how little people they had on site. So they got the plant in, backed off a little bit, took areas of space like U-Haul, and then as soon as the defuse started to come in, they just all rushed onto the site from various angles. Eccles managing to get a double kill, but Soulcast is still leading the line with frags out of everybody by a good margin. Really good defense. Still a few more rounds left to go, but it's fair to assume, I suppose, that Soulcast and the rest of Fish123 will be able to get this round 2, seeing as they have the guns and the first frag.
Yeah, I'm going to get the second as well. They'll pack that one up in their little knapsack and tidy it away. 9 rounds looking clean for 10. A nice dink found as well on the long. 34 HP and 23 seconds left on the heel. They're going to have to fade away off that, and they left the spike, and it looks like they're going to try an entry onto A. 6 HP found, and that's going to be reduced to 0 pretty quickly. And now they can just push on through.
Looking for the A site now, there isn't actually not going to be anybody there. There's Existence and Akuma are the only ones alive that are going to go in this big wrap round too. A lot of time it's going to be wasted there, but even now you could just see how careful Fish123 are taking this. They're not going, oh, we're in a 5 versus 2, let's just rush on and get caught out. No, they're peeking every angle, using utility wisely. And Akuma's going to get tripped up by the tripwire, giving their position away completely. Existence is going to save, but honestly, what would you be saving at this point?
The classic skin. Although to be fair, I don't like that.
I had that skin.
I don't like that skin. I think it's too much. I think it's too much. I like the knife of that skin family. It's the one I use, but I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. It's just not my vibe. I prefer the Raze classic.
Different strokes for different folks.
Seems like he's pretty attached to it.
I mean, I have it too. It sort of matches when I play Sage. I feel like I'm matching all of my gear up to be somewhat similar with the... I also like the knife because it reminds me of Guan Yu's weapon from Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I mean, it is sort of like... It's mimicking like a glaive kind of style, but it's a traditional shape for a jade knife, just in general.
Yeah. It's cool stuff. Wish all of the guns were modelled off some of the crazy weapons in that game.
Oh man, Dian Wei, let's go.
Oh, the big axe.
The big ass axes. I want to see one of those.
Who was it? Like Huang Gai? No, Huang Gai had like the big mace. Like Meng Huo that had like the bear claws. Yeah, Lu Bu is. Have you seen the newer weapons like Dynasty Warriors like 5 and 6? He has like a 4-pronged spear. It's like an X, a cross.
Oh, I don't know, honestly.
It's pretty ridiculous. Go Google it. It's stupid. Like even Alexa's coming in to say that like, yeah, that's preposterous. I think she's Skynet.
Yeah, well, they are gonna weave their web over towards the B site, and as they rotate in, they're gonna go for the push. The trap does get activated, and Soulcast pushes on for another frag as well. They take control. They're trading well. Elbow not cleared just yet. Not too sure if they know if the Cypher's there. They have got plenty of kills. Cryptix is holding for the flank. And this could prove disastrous. The Molotov is there as well, but they push on through. It is traded nicely. Now just the Brimstone to deal with. It is 1 versus 2. But a little bit of a slow rotate might come back to bite. It's just the Brimstone looking to push on towards. And hold it down for the retake. Don't think they know exactly where he is, but it is planted in the middle of the tube. They spot it out, go for the trade, and Cryptix lands the shot. Looking a little bit shaky there. They maybe wanted to hold it down a little bit stronger, but nonetheless, they get the job done and put themselves on 11 rounds.
Can't really go too wrong there. It was dicey considering they didn't know exactly where Existence was, but they double peaked at the right time, showing that even when they aren't quite sure what they're dedicated to, they can at least trade and make sure Existence isn't going into a 1v1 there. Time certainly wasn't on his side either. But speaking of that, like the guns are not really available on this defense, but they've got to try and do something, otherwise they end up on match point. We'll go to a third map if that continues to be the case. Fish123 pretty much running the show as expected. Bit more of a typical game score, I suppose, now than it was on Split, but still more to play for.
Well, have to indeed play their hearts out, as they do not claim any of that ground that they cleared towards the window. And there's the orbital strike coming through to clear out lamps. They'll get the wall off, and they'll sense that A site is almost entirely empty. And with it, they'll be able to get there. Yeah, the counter orbital strike is there, but it's only going to slow them down and allow them to rotate in a little bit. Maybe break the wall, so give them a little bit less safety, but Link already pushed around through lamps. We'll be able to get a frag as well, slow it down so no one can come back in. They have not planted the spike just yet, and instead they're going to rotate. They're going to go straight on through. The shock dart is there, not really finding too much. Happy still on the site. They have to be careful. Don't check the angle. One goes down, but they trade it back. They'll be able to heal it as Eccles capitalizes with a second frag as well. 2 players left on the retake.
Thing I'm keeping an eye on, though, is going to be Link on his mad rotation. It is going to be going behind Maniac. He's the last one alive, and Link has been very slow with how he's trying to wrap around the Cryptics before they can even manage to do that. Is yet again going to trade for Soulcast against them. So I really like these double peeks that they're taking. Like, it's good practice. I wish my teammates could do that too, and I could obviously do that for my teammates as well. It's a good game plan to run by. Match point for Fish123 now, who, looking at the rounds that they've taken, has pretty much been in control. StartedFromCS having a couple of rounds to their name, but can't really string too much together. Could be over before it even begins, it feels like, on this map. StartedFromCS asking a big question outside Twitch chat, how did they win on Split? And my argument is, it's Split.
It's Split, it doesn't count. It's not a real map. It's
Revealing area.
It's just a practice map. It's just a warm-up, you know. That's what they were trying to find. Again, they just push on forwards, and A site is uncharacteristically undefended. Not too sure it's working out for them. Maniac able to harry the sidelines for this time around, but it does take a lot of damage in response. They'll have to rotate in to heal that, but Sage is completely isolated on the side. They've managed to push one player up towards Pocket, but they get that figured out. Showstopper is in, jumping on over. Happy will find one. The Hunter's Fury's there, and up into the air he goes. Link shuts it down. Maniac looking to try and close out another, but it is not to be. The spike looking to get planted now. They will get it down as Akuma is able to start the flank pressure. 2 players now holding post plants, but Soulcast will even it up. Unfortunately, though, Maniac's ready to uneven the scales yet again. Showstopper comes through, spots out a player close, but doesn't manage to land it. There's the satchel, throws out a second as well, and instead of going for the face, he'll just get it done. Soulcast with a 1v2 to close us down. He started it strong, he's going to finish that way too. Soulcast closes it down for Fish123 at 13-4.
25 for 9 though in a 17-round game is pretty ridiculous. It shows like the capability of Fish123 literally ending that map on a bang. And kind of more expected. You know, we saw them play against Prodigy last week, and that was a fairly narrow 2-1 victory. Some maps were a bit more one-sided, but when you saw them played up against StartedFromCS this week, you kind of going, okay, this week should be a little bit easier. We expected more maps like that, but of course that means that Fish123 have broken even in this best of 3. We did miss StartedFromCS beating them on Split. I think it was 13-8 the final score. Now we are going to go to Haven. And I think we're going to be seeing the Ice Paper Hand special of him playing Jet. Super aggro.
I mean, Haven for me is the aim map of the 3 at the moment, which means you're going to more heavily rely on just heavy fragging. It's one of those maps that you can do that. It's a little bit, I'd say less strategically focused, but it still has a lot of strategy involved. But if you can frag out, you're going to have more of an impact on Haven than I think on any other style of map at the moment in the meta.
Yeah, it's a bit of a Call of Duty map almost is how I describe it, because it's just so open and there's so many flanks, and 3 sites means that defenders, there's less ground for them to cover. You can't stack multiple people on the site really, unless of course it's been hit pretty hard, but there's a lot more routes to cover, and you're right, there's just a lot more 1 versus 1 engagements happening. So great way to see players like Maniac and Existence prop themselves up a bit when it comes to frags and winning a couple of 1v1s, but I think that this is the playground for Ice Paper Hands. He is allowed to play aggressive. Even on the defense, we're going to see him pushing all the way. If it was anybody else, if it's somebody in your competitive games, you'd be hovering over the report button and spamming it down because they would just be feeding an ad point. But Ice Paper Hands could get away with it. Sorry, and I would expect to see more of it here. Started from CS need to brace themselves a little bit. I feel.
Yeah, they certainly the tide is coming. We'll see if they're able to bring it back. I think we're going to a short break, if I'm not mistaken,
probably
for
wise.
the next game. So where we can sort this all out for the next game, and we'll see if Fish123 can hold on to the throne. And when we come back, we'll have the final map of the best of 3.